Good day, everybody. Today, we're going to talk about taking a chance. And of course, just by going to school, you're taking a chance. Just by getting a new job, you're taking a chance. But when you look back at people who have achieved what they've intended to achieve, somewhere along the line, they've taken a chance. There's two ways you can take a chance. You can just go out and buy something or work somewhere and just hope it works out. Or you can follow some kind of prescribed manner in which you determine whether it's a valid chance to take. And I follow a process, as you may know by now. I try to follow some kind of processes just so that your thinking is in order. And that's really the whole intent of a process. It's not to delay the decision. It's really to make sure that you think things through. And so the first thing that I do, it's called ROGA, R-O-G-A, is what I follow. It's an acronym. And it just reminds me to make sure that I have structured thinking before I make a decision, especially a decision that could be quite consequential to your future. The first thing is research. Whether you want to buy a business, take a job, get a promotion, invest your money in a building, whatever it may be, you need to do your proper research. You need to determine whether you can make a profit, whether the investment is appropriate at that particular time, whether others who've done the same thing have been successful. And then you have to look at whether others who've done the same thing have done any decisions different than your own. And so the research is clearly important. There was a great saying one time by Ann Richards, who was the former governor of Texas. She says, "Fools rush in where fools have been before." And I've always liked that. And it means that you do your research. Look at what other people have done as well. Second is what I call the odds, R-O. First one's research, O is odds. What are the odds of success? And this is a calculation. It's often determined on how powerful your research is. But in this particular case, I would say, what are reasonable odds? What are accurate odds? Most importantly, what are fair odds? If you're running for an election, you have to really do your research, but then try to determine what your odds are. Sometimes it's best to get odds from somebody else because you may influence the odds in your favor because it's something that you really want. That's R-O. G is guts. Call it courage. Whatever you want to use, I use guts. At a point that you have the research and you have the odds, and the odds may not be great, but they may be in your favor, and you have to decide whether you do it or not. Nearly any person who has reached whatever goal they have along the way has had to have some guts. They've had to take a chance. And that's the toughest of the three. There's the fourth one is adjustments, which we'll get to. But this is the toughest because this is where you actually have to say, yeah, it's looking like it's in my favor. Do I take a loan on my house? Do I borrow from my family? Do I ask my friends to help me? Do I do all that? It comes down to guts. If everybody had that type of courage, we'd see quite a few different things. But this is the toughest of the four-part process that I follow. Last is adjustments. Rare is it that you have the perfect plan from the beginning. What often happens is you have to make adjustments along the way. I think it was Mike Tyson who said, the fight changes with the first punch, which means you may have a plan, but at the end of the day, what you have to do is adjust because you have a plan and somebody else has a plan and your plans may not mesh. They may have a better plan than you, which means you have to make an adjustment in your plan. Quick saying that I came up with some years ago. It says that failure is often the consequence of daring to touch the stars. But on those few occasions when the stars are touched, the world brightens from its luster. I've always liked that. And it talks about taking a chance. Is that, and every time you take a chance, it's not going to work out. But on those few times that it does, or a majority of times that it does, the world benefits from what you've done. So I follow the ROGA philosophy, which is do your research, determine your odds, take a risk, or guts, and then lastly, adjust along the way. Make sure you make adjustments to make sure that you have success both over the short term and the long term. Hope this was beneficial to everybody. Certainly look forward to chatting with you again. Enjoy the day. Take care.